Hi, I call this order to meeting at 5 p.m. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Please follow me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. All directors are present except for Mr. Hayes. So item number 1, approval of agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda tonight.
No changes. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move the agenda.
I'll second.
All those, I'm sorry. All in favor of the motion to approve the agenda, say aye. Any opposed, say nay.
Aye.
Aye. The agenda item stands unopposed. All right. So, Ms. Seavey, are there any members of the public here this evening that would like to provide a comment?
We have a comment card.
Okay. I see I have a James Hannon.
Yes.
Awesome. Could you please step up to the podium?
Do I have to?
You don't have to, but this way it gets recorded.
Okay. My name's James Hannon. I'm here because for a while I've been having something eat me up. Somebody on the management staff of the water company made very derogatory comments about me to other members of the water company. And it was brought to my attention, and I don't think it's very professional, and I want to know how I go about, complaining about it, a formal complaint or whatever you want to call it. But it could ruin my reputation, what was said. And I don't appreciate it. I don't think it was right. And that's about it. I've done a lot I built that garden back there. You know what I mean? Me and my wife have done a lot for this community, and I do a lot of business in this community. And to hear what I heard, it's out of line, it's unprofessional, and somebody needs to at least be told about it. And so here I am, and that's what it is. I don't really want to name names or what was said right now, but it had to be said. You can't go around slandering and just saying derogatory things about people you don't even know. I don't even know this person. I have no relationship with them at all. And I was told I should come and by my other half that this was the right thing to do, so there it is, ball's in your court, I guess. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But I don't know if that's just my comment, my public comment. You guys are all elected up here. You guys run a very good water company, and I appreciate it, and I've never really gotten, anything bad to say about anybody here. I've worked for you guys. I painted this building we're standing in. You know what I mean? And the other community center and all kinds of stuff. I painted the building you guys work in, and to hear what was said about me, it really kind of it's disturbing to me. I do a lot of work in the community for people. I'm a painting contractor, and if what was said is believed by people, that could cost me my business. That could cost me my reputation in this community. And I don't think that's what you guys are here for. It was not professional at all, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We move on to the next item, which would be community reports. Ms. Seavey, are there any representatives here for the community reports?
Yeah, it looks like we have a representative from Ochoa Bogue's office and also Sam Shop from Supervisor Cook's office.
All right. I see. Who's going first? I see Sam, and I see the representative from Ms. Ochoa's office. Sam?
I can jump in if that's fine.
Sure.
Good evening, everybody. Sam, representing County Supervisor Paul Cook. Just a brief update for everybody. We did recently approve the county's new budget, a $9.8 billion budget for the new fiscal year. Just went into effect. So we're very excited about that, of course. Lots of money, excuse me, a decent amount of money being brought in for our unincorporated communities up here in the desert. Some things we've been pushing for, including a couple new Hope Team positions for our Sheriff's Department, for our homeless outreach programs, some money for the rebuild of the Victor Valley Sheriff's Station, which we're excited for, is going to be very helpful for our unincorporated communities out here. Some good things like that. I'd be happy to go into more detail with anyone if there's questions. We've also got some money put in for a behavioral health comprehensive treatment center. It's going to be in Victorville. Will help with withdrawal management, substance use disorder. It's for adults and teenagers. So we're excited for more of these types of facilities to be brought up here to the high desert, so we don't have to make folks go down the hill too often. Additionally, I wanted to bring to everyone's attention, for those of you who have contacts with either of your chambers of commerce, the county's Chamber Tourism Incentive Program is a one-time grant funding of, I believe, about $365,000 to incentivize folks to come out to our unincorporated areas to see our desert communities, specifically for unincorporated chambers. So I would encourage anyone to pass that information along and encourage your area to apply to those. And again, reach out to us if there's anyone with more specific questions. But that's all I brought for everyone, but I'd be happy to answer anything if you have it, or if not, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Sam? Yep. All right. Representative for Ochoa's office.
Hello, my name is Armando Martinez, representing Senator Ochoa Bo, District 23. I am excited to share a brief update on our legislative efforts. Recently, we had just entered our summer recess after a very few weeks. We handled budget bills, ballot initiatives, committee hearings, and bill presentations. And the upcoming legislative agenda, when the legislature reconvenes on August 5th, will focus exclusively on fiscal bills, and appropriations committees will be handling many bills with the last 2 weeks of August dedicated to the floor sessions, adjourning on August 31st. And about the senator bills, currently one of the senator bills has been signed into law. 2 are in the governor's desk, 4 are on the assembly floor. And 7 of them are in assembly appropriations. Most of our time in August will be spent on these bills, meeting the lobbyists and various groups. And just to give you an update on the public safety, Senator is a top priority of Senator public safety. Recently, Senator, along with the bipartisan effort, requested an audit to examine how funds are being used. This audit has been produced already, and we are currently reviewing it to determine what legislative actions are needed. Our office is thoroughly reviewing this audit since over the past 4 or 5 years. More than $20 billion has been spent in bipartisan efforts to combat the homeless issue, housing. So I will keep you updated into those issues. And please feel free to reach out to our office for any updates or any inquiries with the state-related offices.
All right, thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
No? Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We'll move on to item number 3, consent items. Does anyone have any consent items they would like to pull? And if not, is there a motion to approve the consent items?
I'll move the consent items.
I'll second.
All in favor of the motion to approve the consent items?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? It passes. Thank you. All right, the next one is item number 4, matters removed. There were no matters removed from consent. Item 5, presentations or appointments. Are there any presentations or
Not tonight.
appointments? Okay. Number 6, continued items for the new agenda. And I just have the hearing 1 and 2 on my comments.
Hearing number 1.
Oh, hearing number 1, thank you. Item B, discussion of possible adoption of resolution 2024-11 establishing water standby fees. May we have the staff report?
If I may, we need to do the public hearing. That's
Oh,
six-
announce the public hearing?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
6A, so if you look to the hearing number 1.
Yep. Okay, perfect. I declare a public hearing on the water standby and availability fees now open at 5:13 PM. And may I have the secretary's report, please?
Yes, at this time, I'd like to report the district has received 0 written protests, objections, or comments relating to the water standby and availability fees.
All right, thank you. May we please have the attorney report from Mr. Kennedy?
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. On May 12th, 2024, the Board of Directors adopted resolution number 2024-08, initiating proceedings to fix, levy, and collect water standby assessments for the fiscal year 2024-2025, and the hearing date was scheduled for today, July 10th, 2024. Notice of hearing was published in Mountaineer Progress on June 20th, June 27th, and July 4th, 2024. Additionally, notice of public hearing was posted in the district office and on the district's website beginning on June 20, 2024. Copies of the report were also made available in the district office for public review. As a result, the district has complied with all of the legal requirements necessary for moving forward with this hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Kinney. May we have a staff report, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. The water standby charge reflects each parcel of land within the district's boundaries for acreage within 660 feet of a water line. The preliminary water standby charge report was filed with the Secretary on June 30th, 2024. The updated report details 3,502 parcels for a total assessment of $279,708. This amount may change as parcels connect to the system before the final report is filed with the county by the August 2024 deadline.
Thank you, Mr. Bartz. At this time, we will open the public hearing for public comment. Is there any public comments, either here or online?
Is there anybody online that would like to comment on this item? I believe Gina Mills is the only public attendee.
No? Okay. I'll ask each board member individually if they have any comments. Deborah?
No.
Mark?
No comment.
Rebecca? And I don't have any comments either. May I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I move that we close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
The public hearing closes at 5:15 PM.
You're in favor.
Yeah. And it sounds like everybody's in favor. Thank you, Mark. So I declare a public hearing for delinquent water charges, and I open that at 5:16 PM.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Did I miss something?
6B.
6B.
6B? Yeah.
Yeah.
6B, all right. Is there a motion for the 6D, discuss possible adoption resolution 2024-12?
Let's, this is the,
6.
yeah, it's 6B, which is the discussion and possible actions on
Screwed up.
2023-18. And this is on the establishing standby and availability fees.
All right, I'm messed up here. So this is the B, discussion of possible adoption of resolution the 24-11?
Correct.
All right. May we have a staff report, please?
Thank you. In order to collect standby revenue, each year the district must take certain steps in compliance with the Government Code Section 61124A, 54984, 6066, including 1, initiating proceedings to fix, levy, and collect water standby assessments for the fiscal year, establishing a hearing date, notifying the general public with publications in a newspaper on 2 separate dates, and 3, conduct the public hearing. The standby fee has been a means to collect funds from parcels within the district to help support the system and keep it ready to serve those who wish to connect to the system. Staff is not recommending any changes to the current rates and collections. Standby charges currently are calculated as followed, and you have that section in there. On May 22nd, 2024, the Board of Directors adopted Resolution 2024-08, initiating proceedings to fix, levy, and collect water standby assessments for the fiscal year 2024-2025, and the hearing date was scheduled for July 10th, 2024. A full copy of the affected parcels and corresponding fees have been made available for public review. 3,556 parcels were included in the previous final levy assessment submittal in fiscal year 23-24. As part of the preparation for the preliminary fiscal year 24-25 assessment roll, parcels that were recently developed or pulled a permit since the last levy submittal were removed. In addition, parcel charges were captured related to subdivisions and parcel mergers throughout the year. As a result, an assessment roll for fiscal year 2025 now includes 3,502 parcels. The assessment roll has been provided to the board secretary separately, as it is too voluminous to include herein. This may change as parcels connect to the district's water system before the final report is submitted to the county. And staff's recommendation is for the board to adopt Resolution 2024-11, establishing standby and availability fees for 2024 and 2025.
All right. Does anybody have any comments? No? All right. Is there a motion?
I will move the item, the resolution 2411, correct?
Yes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And then, all in favor of the motion, sorry, guys. And so that closes the,
That finishes the
the hearing, the assessment for number one.
Public hearing on
Yeah,
delinquent water.
okay. All right, thank you, Mark. Public hearing, see separate script. I declare a public hearing on the delinquent user water charges now open at 5:19 PM. May we have the secretary's report, please?
Yes. At this time, I'd like to report the district has received 0 written protests, objections, or comments relating to the delinquent user water charges.
Thank you. May we please have the attorney's report, Mr. Kennedy?
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Notice of hearing was published in the Mountaineer Progress on June 20, June 27th, and July 4th, 2024. Additionally, notice of the public hearing was posted in the district office and on the district's website beginning on June 20, 2024. Notice of delinquency and hearing were also mailed to delinquent users on June 13th, 2024. Copies of the report were made available in the district office for public review. As a result, the district has complied with all legal requirements for this hearing within the manner and time specified by applicable law.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Bartz, at this time, we will open the public hearing for public comment. Is there any public comments?
We have staff report.
Or staff report, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
May we have a staff report, Mr.
Yes,
Bartz?
staff report. The delinquent water user charge report was filed with the Secretary on July 3rd, 2024, and details 560 customer accounts amounting to a total of $139,624.24. The delinquent water user charge reports reflect each affected parcel of real property and the total amount of charges and delinquencies for each affected parcel as of June 30th, 2024. The final list will be submitted to the County of San Bernardino for collection no later than August 10th, 2024, and will be updated as necessary until submittal.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bartz. At this time, we will open the public hearing up for public comment. Is there any public comment?
Gina Mills, if you have a public comment, go ahead and unmute yourself, but other than that, she's the only one online. And if there's any members of the public here, you can come up to the podium.
Looks like there's no public.
For delinquent water user charges.
No? All right. May I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I motion to close the hearing. I'll second.
Thank you. I close the public hearing at 5:22 PM. All right, so now we're going to move on to item 6D.
Oh, yeah, we do need to have a motion and a second and a vote on the,
Had a motion and a second.
oh, you did, okay.
We didn't vote. Sorry, we need to have a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Nothing, no one opposed, thank you. All right, so now we move on to 6D. May we have a staff report, please, for 6D?
Yes. In order to collect delinquent water use charges of the San Bernardino County tax roll each year, the district must take certain steps in compliance with Government Code 61115B, including 1, prepare and file with the board a report that describes each affected parcel of real property and the amount of charges delinquent for each affected parcel as of June 30th, 2024. And 2, publish notice of time and place for a public hearing by the board to hear and consider adoption and/or revisions of the charges and penalties contained in the report of the district's general manager. Fiscal impact is subject to change pending receipt of customer payments. Delinquent customers were mailed notification regarding this process and given an opportunity to remedy. The final list will be submitted to the County of San Bernardino for collection no later than August 10th, 2024, and will be updated as necessary until submittal. And the staff's recommendation is for the board to adopt resolution number 2024-12, confirming or modifying and then confirming the report of the delinquent water user charges for the purpose of collecting of said charges on the San Bernardino County tax roll.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bartz. Is there any comments from our board? Deborah? Mark?
No, looks good.
Rebecca? All right, is there a motion?
I will move the resolution 24-12.
I'll second that.
All right, and all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. All right, item E. May we have the staff report, please?
Yes, this is for the California Special Districts Association election for the Board of Directors. And this is for the 2024 board elections. As a member of CSDA, the district is entitled to 1 vote for the CSDA Board of Directors, Seat A. Should the board desire, they may vote for one of the following 3 candidates. And the 3 candidates are Joe McKenzie, who is the incumbent, and Jason Daffhorn from Valley Sanitary District, and Ross Leha from Harupa Area Recreation and Parks. And the ballot will be submitted electronically by July 26, 24, and you have the candidate information. And the staff's recommendation is for the board to vote for 1 candidate for the Special District Association Board of Directors term. This is the 2025 through 2027 Seat A. And I actually hold Seat B on the California Special District Board. And if you're looking for staff's recommendation, Joe McKenzie, I think, has done a great job, and I would highly recommend her.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bartz. Any board members have any comments? Deborah?
I've had a few discussions with Joe McKenzie, and she's been a really approachable. I really appreciated that.
All right, thank you. Mark?
Do you know any of the other?
I do not know the others.
I'm just wondering, does anybody
Yeah.
know any of the other ones?
No, I do not.
Okay, that's all.
Rebecca?
No questions or comments.
All right, is there a motion?
I would motion that the board, I guess, vote for Joe McKenzie?
Joe McKenzie.
Yeah, I'll second.
For the Board of Directors.
Perfect. I'll second that. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. All right. Item F. May we have the staff report, please?
Oops. Actually, we go right to number 7, I believe, the committee reports.
Okay.
We do have.
Update on the
Right.
Civic Center EOC
I do not
project.
have an F in mind that I,
There's some numbers and stuff for the parks.
Yeah.
Item F is the update on the Civic Center and EOC project and other park projects.
Okay, so this is just a continuing information that's.
Yeah, I believe at the last board meeting, you requested some additional information, and so that should be ready for
didn't have
this
a tab.
or the next meeting. And then there's just the quarterly ARPA report in there for some additional information.
Thank you, Ms. Seaman.
And if I could just add, just a update on the Civic Center project. Spoke with the engineer who's preparing the grading plans for this Civic Center. He's estimated to be completed with that in a couple of weeks and then submit that to the County of San Bernardino for plan check. Also, at the same time, would have the 100% design plans for the ARPA design, so we can kind of compare the two, that they complement each other with grading on the 14-acre project. With that, that's the only update I have. Seems like everything else is we're just kind of waiting for the Civic Center grading plans to be approved by the county.
All right, thank you, George. Anybody have any questions for George? No? All right, we'll move on to item number 7, committee reports. Engineering Committee,
Meets next Wednesday, I believe.
all right. Finance Committee,
I'm not sure when that meets next.
There's a special meeting more towards the end of the month. The regular special meeting next week has been canceled, along with the solid waste meeting.
Okay,
all right, thank you.
thank you.
Legislative Committee meeting, we'll be meeting here in the future. I have nothing to report from the past. Parks and Recreation,
Nothing new to report?
all right. And Waste and Recycling Committee.
We haven't had a meeting since the last board meeting, and next week's meeting is canceled.
All right, thank you. Item number 8, are there any staff reports beyond what is in the agenda materials?
I don't have anything to add, but I think Sean wants to talk about the water system and where we're at as of today.
Thank you, Mr. Bartz. I'm happy to report to the board, even as we find our way through 105 or plus degree heat and the holiday weekend, water operations for Phelan and Piñon Hills has never been in a position we find ourselves currently in. Everything we hypothesized about well 15 is coming true. Currently, as of right now, there's 9 wells sitting idle. This has historically never happened for us. It allows us to target more efficiencies, thanks to the actions of the board and the actions of staff executing those policies, has really put us in an operationally different situation than when we found ourselves in the years prior. And I'd like to thank everybody, staff, board, for allowing us to be in this position. We stand at the ready if any of our neighboring agencies need any assistance. We've been able to provide a little assistance here just this week, and we're happy to do so moving forward. But yeah, really allows us to target those efficiencies, both with boosters and wells, and we're only gaining momentum as we move forward. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Anybody have any additional questions from Sean?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask one question. Have you noticed any fluctuations in the pumping levels for well 15? Is it holding steady?
Well 15 is almost completely flatlined. There's about a 2-foot variance. It's about 25 foot above the bowl settings. We're seeing a slight decline as we move into summer, kind of across the board. That's after a pretty steep increase from the precipitation we had this winter. Again, that was almost unilaterally across the board. Of course, we see it a little higher in the upper elevations, but even in our assets further to the north, we do see it. We've seen that increase, and we're starting to see a slight decrease as we're now moving through summer. But it's not developing any further, but it's not not developing any further. It's
Well,
very,
you're
very
halfway,
stable.
you're basically halfway through already, been pumping it hard, so, you know, just watching the pumping level and making sure it doesn't, you know,
Currently, it's hitting
continue to
set
draw
point
down.
about every 2.5 days. There was a stretch, I believe, it ran for about 2.5 weeks flawlessly. And that's really helped us balance our operations across the district to be, I guess, a more homogeneous district.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sean. And then that's good news to hear because we had some fires here recently in the community. I believe there were 3, and it sounds like our system did well through that effort.
Maintaining excellent, and I think George has.
I do. It's another topic. And I just, if I may, I'd like to make an announcement, a recognition to Tony De La Rosa. He's our GIS tech. He just received his certification for GISP, which is GIS Professional. There are criteria to accomplish this, and they're not easy tasks. The 3 criteria are education, that's coursework, involvement in courses in schooling, and beyond that, professional experience, which he has 4 years here with the district, and prior with the city of Pomona, and has grown quite a bit here at the district, elevating us to where we were going. He just took us there in leaps and bounds. And also a contribution to the profession, and that is engaging with other districts, participating in presentations. As you are well aware, the district has presented a few times with ESRI and other areas regarding the accomplishments that the district has achieved in GIS, and that is a small district with a small budget and leveraging GIS. It's just showing what we can do as a small district and leveraging the application. So I received a letter today congratulating him. He did take a test, and that was his last step. So just want to recognize Tony. We're proud of him. I'm proud of him, and we're looking forward to further growth with Tony.
Thank
you.
you.
Is that a state license?
It's a certification.
Certification,
It's certification.
like engineering
It's
or
recognized, yes.
geology?
And if I can add, there's only, Tony is now 3 in the high desert that has this level of certification of the GIS profession. So it's not an easy task. There are other certifications with, for example, with ESRI, but this is more recognizable. So.
Thank you, George. Appreciate it. Tell Tony congratulations. And I'm happy to see that the district supports furthering education and certification.
Yes, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to personally thank staff for the operations of the district entirely. I think the district right now is in a better position than we've ever been in as far as the capabilities. You know, the GIS is a big part of that too, in conjunction with the SCADA system that we have that the board approved years ago and we got some grants for. They've taken that and ran with it. You know, one of these days we'll do a presentation here in the board meeting. You can see the entire system on the screen. You can tell which pumps are on the levels of the tanks, how many gallons per minute they're moving around the system. And for us to have, what did you say, 8 wells that are shut off right now, just resting? 9 wells. Go back a couple of years ago, and we were down to our last well running and hoping that we didn't have a failure. Going back further than that, we were like running them 24 hours a day and cycling them, just trying to keep the district in water and keep the tanks full. But we are in a completely different position now than we've ever been in the history of the district.
Awesome. Congratulations to staff. That's a great accomplishment. All right. Next item are reports. Deborah, do you have anything to report?
Nothing to report.
Mark?
I have nothing further to add.
Rebecca?
Yes, I attended the Mojave Water Agency Board of Directors meeting on June 27th. I don't normally get an opportunity to do that, so when I'm on break, I take that opportunity. 2 things that I wanted to bring up from that meeting real quick were the board approved a partnership with Cal State San Bernardino, and they're going to be using their students to study pollution impacts on the watershed before and after the reservoir. So they're going to be doing that for a year to study that, and I think that's an awesome opportunity for them to use young people who are getting into, you know, this field of work. So I'm excited about that. And then Director Hoffman and West updated their board on their trip to Washington, D.C. To educate politicians and their staff on the recharge and looking for funding for that. So awesome opportunity for them.
Great, sounds awesome, thank you. In the President's report, I have nothing to report. Item number 10, Ms. Seavey, will you please review the correspondence?
Yeah, so we have our summer flyers in there. Movie nights are continuing, so we're back this Friday. And I believe that is, what is it, Ruby Gilman Teenage Kraken? If you want to go see it. We have our flyer on how to look for leaks. And then there's a step-by-step guide that went out in the bills about how to sign up to view your consumption data and all the other things that you can review with the new smart meters. Our notice of water rate change went out in the bills. New is we have our important election dates. Candidate filing will begin on Monday, and we'll go through August 9th. The board has 2 full-term seats and 1 short-term seat up for election. And then looking more towards fall, we have an oil filter exchange event coming up and a household hazardous waste collection, which will be in Wrightwood this year. So keep those, put them on your fridge. If you have any of those items, you can take them to those events.
All right, thank you, Ms. Seavey. Were there any other prior meeting action items?
Yeah, there was an action item. I wasn't here, but it was noted. The board requested 2 years of disbursement history for fuel purchases, food purchases, conferences, policies, and procedures related to those. And then add an update, as we discussed earlier, you wanted more information on that project information sheet. And so we are working on that project information sheet, and it's my understanding they've compiled all of the disbursement data, and it's with Dawn for review.
All right, thank you. In current action items, are there any current action items from the meeting? No?
I haven't recorded any.
All right. I do have a question. This might be towards Mr. Kennedy. About public comment and what was submitted. What would the person do about that in terms of contacting somebody at the district?
Yes, I think that the appropriate step at this point would be for the speaker to contact General Manager Bartz and to have a conversation with him regarding the issues that were raised during public comment.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. And I don't have any, I don't have any other comments. Are there any other future action items anybody's requesting at this time? No? All right. And do any of the members, okay, I asked that one, agenda to add to the agenda for the, set the agenda for the next meeting, regular board meeting, July 24, 2024. Do any members of the board have any items they'd like to add to the agenda for the next board meeting? No.
I don't have anything to add, but I also won't be here.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, with that, item 13, with no further business before the board, we are adjourned at 5:40 p.m. All right. Thank you, everybody.